Hello.
Hello. Oh, God, yes.
Fancy seeing you here.
As Merry Holiday. Once again, we're doing our Slapdash one-shot event that I will now be Game Master and running. Experiencing technical difficulties will definitely be par for the course. Yeah, but be prepared for all of this fun shenanigans. Paul, run the credits.
Can't do it at the same spot.
No, of course not. He doesn't want to make it that easy on himself. Oh, shit, we're here. Hey. Hey, we're back. Yeah, once again, Paul, who's normally the host and DM, is also our switchboard operator, which is for a computer in a completely different room, which he'll be playing in. Speaking of the devil, and he shall appear. Some of us have holiday hats, some of us don't. Hello, Paul. Can you hear? You good?
Howdy doody, doggy daddy.
All right, bud. Well, why don't you do any kind of scheduling stuff?
Just a reminder that we will be dark on Christmas Eve. We will be dark on New Year's Eve, the Sunday after. But we will be running and airing on this time at New Year's Day, a special New Year's Day episode. So come one, come all. It proves to be pretty exciting. We're going to have a good old, grand old post-hangover time. So please bring your Advil and ice packs and join us on Monday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Twitch. Now back to our regularly scheduled Krampus. Chris.
Hello, yes. Last year we had a group of adventurers go on a heist, and it turned out to not be so nice. But now we have a brand new group with a brand new adventure. Is it a heist this time? No, it in fact is not. What we have is a group of adventurers that specialize in investigating. They have been hired to go to a nice little town up north called Goodmead. They are currently riding this wonderfully magical steam-powered ferry boat with them, a bunch of other passengers, some cargo, some containers, wagons. They're slowly making their way, and in the distance you can see a small lighthouse shining its light and a couple chimneys with smoke coming out of them, and what seems to be a winter storm approaching. But please, now, why don't we be introduced to our adventurers? Paul, lead us off. Who and what are you?
The first thing you experience even before you see me is you're hit with the faint smell of ammonia.
Delightful.
My name is Syl. I am 6'7" tall, and I am a mushroom man, a myconid. I have a broad, bright red cap with bright white spots on it. It's tilted at a nice jaunty angle. And there are all sorts of other types and colors of mushrooms growing all over my person. For instance, there are lots of shelf fungi all over my body, which helps with my AC. And if you look to one side of my cap, there is a bright little orangish red mushroom that appears to be glowing. And just out of the top of it, you notice a little chimney that is just a little stream of smoke coming out of. And there, you notice along with that, there are similar mushrooms all over the body that also seem to be glowing that reddish orange. I have all different sorts of mushrooms and fungus and molds of different colors all over me. And also from my cap around, there's all sorts of beads and baubles and shells all hanging and decorating my cap. Also, all around me, when the light hits just right, there appears to be the faintest cloud of a sparkling dust in the air. Now, if that isn't enough, I'm accompanied by my friend and companion, a very large wild boar named Brandy, who is my truffle pig. Brandy is about half the size of a Mazda Miata. Has bright yellow big tusks in the front. Her eyes are a milky blue, and her fur is covered in patches of also different colored molds and fungus.
So, that is the first member of the party. Dan, what does your character look like?
I'm a human.
Oh, how brave of you.
I am Spiros. I am a wizard. I'm all about the investigating right now with my friends. So I have dark hair.
Standard
And-
wizard regalia, or are you a little bit different?
No, a little more traveling scholar. Nothing too special going on other than I do have a spell book, and I have a spell around my neck that my friends would know is my focus, my spell focus.
So you are our token human. Got you. Okay. Brianna, please introduce yourself and your character.
So, B.O.B., also known as Bucket of Bolts, they are a warforged, and they have kind of a steampunk fashion to them. They're made up of a bunch of different parts of different other robots, other machines. They're very versatile in all of their different limbs. You see lots of exposed, like gears and other like hydraulic machinery to move with the joints. They have a little furnace glowing where one would imagine the heart to be. And on like one side, they've got a little smoke pipe coming out, and on the other side, a little steam pipe coming out. They run on a bunch of different powers, it looks like. And they have a large tool belt, lots of different tools, tinker's tools, cook's utensils, thieves' tools kind of wrapped up on there. And they wear a neat little bow tie and a top hat, and wear just a very, very dapper little person in this machinery, and light bulbs for eyes. And their mouth is in the form of a smile, but it's just a speaker, kind of like a great look to it.
Ruby, please introduce your character.
I would be happy to. She is an elf. She is, of course, a rogue. She's about 5 feet tall, dressed in all black, very angsty. She's been around, man. She's seen some things and some stuff.
A little salty.
Little salty, maybe a little salt.
I'm going to do what Paul loves to do and put you on the spot. What's your group's name? Anyone?
Investor buddies.
Okay. I'm going to write that down unless somebody comes out with something better.
Oh God! Please, somebody come up with something better.
See, all I could think of.
I love that name.
So as you guys are on the side of the ship watching this town approach, a individual in what you could tell is the gear of one of the crew members, yellow slicker hat, water genasi, if you know what they look like, walks up. Hey, y'all look a little new around here.
I am.
Yes, I could tell.
Very new.
You're all shiny and stuff, and you don't have any rust on you yet.
I am working on that. I am
Mm.
glad you noticed.
So,
You don't want rust. It's okay.
why ye
I
be
know.
here on me ferry?
I didn't realize we did not ask for permission.
Well, no, I'm wondering
Yeah.
why you're going over to Goodenmead
Oh,
using
I
me
see.
ferry.
We're looking for work.
Yeah, we're looking for work.
So,
We
Lovely
are
this time of
investigators.
year.
what you guys do know is you have received a letter of invitation, specifically by a Lord Flint, as was currently put in the letter. Come fix these goddamn problems
Yeah.
before I fire everyone. There was a sizable portion of gold given to you already to get you to come here, and more was promised at the end.
Can I
But
ask
that is-
where that gold went?
I don't know. Who's your party accountant?
I volunteer.
All right. So
How much gold did I have?
you were sent 20 gold along with the letter
Okay, cool.
Okay.
as a promissory note for 200 upon completing the task. Yes, you're the new Gaius. Congratulations. So anyway, yeah. So what are you doing here? Like exactly? You work? Are you here to work at the apiary?
We're
We're
heading
here
to meet Lord
You
Flint.
go ahead.
beekeepers? Are you all beekeepers? You don't look like
We're-
beekeepers.
We're here to, and I quote, fix these goddamn problems before Lord Flint fires everyone.
Oh, you're going to see Lord Flint, huh?
You hear in your everyone hears in their head, because you'll notice Syl does not have a mouth. He just has a series of up and down slits underneath his eyes. So
Delightful.
you hear him in your head, and he's just like, dude, bees are gnarly.
Holy shit, what's going on in my head?
I also enjoy bees.
You get used to it.
What is it?
It's just our friend Syl.
Oh,
The
you know
Hey,
what?
muchacho, how you doing?
Yeah, good to meet you as well, friend. Do I just do it in me head, or do I have to use me mouth, or do I can do both?
You can do both at the same time, man. You can provide
so-
your own backup soundtrack.
But if I think of dirty images in my head, do you receive those as well?
What a
we
party
can
trick.
try.
Okay. This is what me and the wife did last night.
Dude.
Right? Crazy. She is very flexible. Well, when you get my age, you got to kind of get creative.
What were you cleaning?
I was swabbing her deck,
I see. That was kind of you.
and then she swabbed mine. So something about Flint, yeah? Well,
We have
good
to go
luck. Good
fix
luck
the
with that.
problems.
What's wrong with Flint?
He kind of owns most of the town, and he's about kind of a jackass. I can say that because this is my ferry, and I own it for now. I mean, don't get me wrong. The town was dying, and now it's not. What kind of work do you normally do, if you don't mind me asking? You look like some adventuring types.
We find lost pets and things like that.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, so there's the four of you and the lovable, huge boar. That seems like
That's Brandy, dude.
I love Brandy,
Yeah, apparently Brandy.
and that boar seems
Right,
mighty fine
very.
as well. As he pulls out a
Whoa.
flask and takes a swig.
He gets it. This
Yeah.
guy gets it.
So you find lost pets. Anything else? What was the last big adventure you guys had? Anything interesting?
Well, there was this house, man. We
Yeah.
went in there because there were ghosts and stuff, and people were really scared, and it was totally pitted. And we were in there, and it turns out it was Old Man Robinson the entire time. It was really gnarly, man. And
I have never detected a ghost.
Really? So you don't
I do not
believe
know
in
if they
ghosts?
exist. I have no further evidence of their existence.
Well, there might be a little bit of spirits here in Goodmead. Don't you worry. I'm sure it'll be interesting for you. What did you say, my mycelium amigo? I couldn't hear you. The mushroom man. Mycelium is...
sorry, man. Big words like that just kind of get me all out of whack, and I'm just having a
It's
hard
all right.
time sometimes.
For a second, I adopted your accent for a bit.
It's okay, because it all just kind of transfers. It's a thing in nature, Together, we're just kind of bonding, and, my roots are kind of here into the compost or in the wood boards here. I just rose up into you and, kind of getting your chi, and then all of a sudden it worked its way out, and we just were kind of having a bonding moment, man.
I enjoy hearing him speak. I think it is very educational.
Bob, you're so kind.
Well, I hope you have a good time in Goodmead because you're just in time for the wassailing.
Ooh,
That'll be fun.
ooh.
Yes, the wassailing. It's the local tradition.
Wassailing
You've heard
like
of it,
bees,
I'm
man,
sure.
right?
Nah, well, no. I mean, there's bees now. The snow bees, giant, adorable white bees.
Oh.
Yeah.
I look
mean,
forward to studying
Waslings have
them.
their own hives, right, man?
Now, you're thinking of something else. Wassailing is like a good time kind of thing. It's something we do to cheer up the local community.
Oh, I'm all about that, dude.
During
And
these,
at this point, I think Sill's going to let out a little puff of spores towards the pirate there, the hallucinogenics.
holy crap! Oh shit!
I dodged. Make
Are
sure
you-
to.
Yeah,
How
no,
are
he
you-
does not dodge. He just takes hallucinogens right to the face. Holy shit!
Right? Am I right, man? Like,
Oh.
nature's a beautiful thing.
Oh,
Check out the colors.
Oh, I'm definitely going to need the first mate to pilot the ship for the rest of the cruise. Oh dear! As he's like looking at his hand and getting it close to his face and away from him, he's like, "Oh, yeah. So Wassling's like a party or something with singing and whatnot." And he just starts trailing off and walking away from the party at this point. Just
Before
like,
he does it, he hears in his head, "Muchacho, like tell these little dudes here a little bit more about that Flint asshole, as you were saying. I think they're obviously really chill and really cool, so you probably should let them know everything that they're getting themselves into. Man."
oh, Flint's is a businessman, ruthless, but without him, the town might have died. Holy shit. I think I need to walk this off. And you see him like bump into a wall, like touch one of the other passengers and just kind of like run his hand down their face. They're like, "You're so uneven." And then he just keeps walking away, just touching shit. And the captain of the vessel is now high as a kite and somewhere on the ship.
So you really need
There
to
is
ask
a-
people before you do that.
But luckily, there's a full
That probably
crew.
was not wise.
This is a trip, man. They were all tripping, and you might as well make the most of it. But he was able to tell us about like that rhyme of the ancient mariner, man.
Oh yeah, you definitely hear some shanties coming from like the front of the boat now.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
going to record these to listen to later.
Yes.
Oh, this will be nice. Yes,
you can
that would be
record?
very pleasant.
Yes, I can.
The ship approaches. A little time goes by, and you see a quaint little town. There is off into the distance a little bit a lighthouse. Quaint little 1-2-story cottages. There's a couple larger buildings. Looks like there might be like a 3-story building. A large warehouse is kind of near the water line. You see off in the distance a large field with. Does Bob have like telescopic view at all? Is that I assume
Sure.
they have decent eyesight.
Yeah.
So you zoom in
He
and
does.
look.
They do now.
They do now because I need you to. And you see what looks like little boxes all lined up in neat rows. And because everything has got like a little coating of snow, big white and black objects flying around. There's a function that if you push a button, you can actually go behind
Yes.
and use their eyes like binoculars.
Would somebody
As a
like to look
function.
at what I am seeing? I see white and black boxes. I will enable my telescope mode.
I love Warforged. I can add so many functions that would otherwise have to do something.
As an
else.
artificer too, I can easily just like, let me upgrade. There we go.
So as an artificer, so there, you see something like one might describe buzzing around these little houses. Do you have a device maybe to help focus your eyesight so to make it
Yeah.
out?
Yeah.
All right. So you do that. It takes a little bit of time, and also getting closer, so it helps some. And with that, the new focus lenses you installed. Anyone who looks through Bob's eyes and also sees what Bob sees are giant, fluffy bumblebees that are striped white and black. These must be the snow bees that the pirate you actually know, not the pirate, but the captain you didn't actually get a name from, talked about briefly. and you realize that there are giant bees nearby in this town. So,
Is it like snowy out?
in the distance behind the town, there's a mountain range with clouds that seem to be coming over the top and descending toward the town. Syl, give me a nature roll, please. I would like so you're getting closer to the town now. And anyone who feels comfortable. All right, with a 16 Syl, you realize that there is a pretty decent sized snowstorm moving in on town. And we'll be starting to see some flakes falling, maybe around the time you enter town.
Incoming, man. It's gonna be a white this. Yeah.
Pirate walks by, or sorry, the cab walks by, wassailing, and just keeps going.
Gesundheit, man.
White wassailing. Got it.
As you're approaching this pretty idyllic town, anyone in the party, would you like to tell me what subtle signs do you see that this community is having a problem or are in distress?
Oh, so they look like there are people. You can see there are people moving about town, kind of going about their business, but they don't. It's not, there's hustle, but there's no bustle. There's no talk. There's no
for what's supposed to be a festive time of year,
right,
it seems to be lacking, and everybody's still out and busy, but the festive nature that you were promised is not there. All right, that's good.
Someone
that's
is totally harsh through mellow, man.
Anyone
Where
else?
is the wassailing cheer?
Yes, exactly. The wassailing cheer is not here at the moment.
Maybe this is why Lord Flint needs us.
Anyone else? Oh,
empty buildings.
So, there's a couple of closed businesses, not necessarily due to the weather.
And a total lack of nature hanging, which is kind of abundant this time of year, whether it be greens or holly or other good green stuff that's not necessarily smokable, kind of hanging from the windows, the doors.
There's no decorations.
Exactly, man.
Giant bees flying around, that's not good.
Okay. Well, I specifically made the point that they're just there.
I know.
Not necessarily causing up. You're going to a place called.
I'm terrified of the bees.
In case anyone's curious, you're going to a town called Goodmead, and you make mead with honey. And
not giant bees flying near the buildings.
How do you get giant honey?
Giant honey?
Well, you're nice to them, and then you ask them out, and they'll take them over a drink or a beverage,
nice
tasty beverage.
I approve of that. Those are the things you do notice in addition. But you see a town that seems relatively well off, though. You see, as you are pulling up, there is a giant warehouse. The doors are open, and people are pushing carts out that have giant barrels. And you realize on the deck of the ship you're on, the ferry, there's a bunch of empty carts. And you realize this is probably just all part and parcel for the day. So as the ship pulls in and ties off, the front of the ship drops down. Empty carts are being let off. Full carts are being let on. And you guys can smell the overwhelming scent of mead coming out of these casks. Some of the wagons that were let off did have containers and stuff on them, though. So you can tell, they definitely bring stuff from out of town in town to keep it going. But you see up on top of the warehouse, Flint Meadery, trespassers will be dealt with. But you see the people, they're working efficiently, but they're not, like you said, there's no cheer in their steps. It just seems a little off. People, but you can see in some of the people, they're pleasant to one another. It just, for whatever reason, there's something has drained the essence from this town. You're realizing maybe this is why you're here. So
the captain played it up that this would be more of a celebration of cheer, and there seems to be a severe lack of serotonin emitting from these individuals.
Whoa. Could you put that into mushroom speak where I could understand it?
Of course.
They're
These
not
dudes
happy.
definitely do not have any happy feelings.
Their mellow,
I get it. I
Yes.
get it.
see,
Bob.
their mellow was totally harsh, dude.
Precisely.
Their mellow
So
was
all
toning.
the little bumble dudes who have been squirting that precious honey stuff is just not appreciated by the local quarantine, huh?
Yes. I think that's what they're saying.
Wow. You hear that, Brandy? That's more of that lovely golden stuff for us. Nothing like beautiful tankard.
By the way, what have you been feeding Brandy?
Just whatever we find along the way, you know?
I have researched their diet.
As you guys are getting off the ship, you see an individual in a very dapper suit standing waist high for a lot of you. A cobalt with a sign with Investa Buddies written on it.
I
And
guess.
he's just kind of standing there,
They know what
monocle, one monocle, just
Oh.
sign held out in front of him.
He's got a monocle.
Tapping
Hey
his
there,
foot.
little scaly dude.
Yes, hello. Why am I hearing? Oh, yes, your people talk through spores. Excellent. Are you?
Whoa, boy, you're smart.
Well, did a little research. That's why you guys are here. You are the Investa Buddies.
Affirmative.
That's kind of what I got from our mutual acquaintance. Yes, yes. I am Mr. Packett. I'm the clerk for Mr. Flint.
Well met, Mr. Peckett.
Yes. So if you could allow me to escort you to the manor, it's just down the road and up on the hill over there by the apiary. Unless there's anything. Apiary. It's where bees are. Bees be there?
Oh,
I'll just send you a picture.
Oh,
And he sends you a
cool,
picture
man.
of an apiary in your head, and it's where bees are being bees.
Wow, those little dudes get busy.
Yeah, and they're also quite large and sometimes carry me off. Luckily, they are not aggressive. It is only very alarming most of the time.
Oh,
So,
wow,
do you have? Luckily, no one seems to be of a too tiny of a stature to be carried away by the bees. This is excellent.
bees
We
terrifying.
do have to keep the kids away, though they do enjoy flying with the bees on occasion.
Bees
That
ever
sounds
drop them?
delightful.
It is sort of.
Do they
I
ever
see.
drop them?
What?
Do the bees ever drop them?
Sometimes they don't.
you
they're
hear
not taking
that,
them too
Brandy,
far. in the air.
baby? Possibly lunchtime at some point on this trip for you. We'll take care of you.
Am I
I'm
to
sorry, you
infer?
were saying?
Am I to infer that the mushroom man feeds children to the boar? Because we can't have.
That
No,
is
no, no.
incorrect. We
Not
do
live,
not
man.
allow.
Not live. That would be like really inconsiderate.
Mr. Packett, not dead either.
I'm just going to
the board
ignore
has
that.
never eaten a
Yes,
child.
thank you.
But if children do go missing,
It
I will have
will
to
not
tell
be a-
someone about that.
it will not be a problem. It
Okay.
won't.
Good. Great.
Still.
Grand. Wonderful. On that unsettling note, please follow me.
Sure.
And he starts walking you down through the middle of town. And you see a pretty busy town. What you do notice is that a few of the businesses are closed. What's interesting about those particular businesses, they seem to be kind of aligned with what might call merrymaking. There are certain like eateries, places to relax, maybe a coffee shop or two, tea shop. You notice that they have signs and boards up. Peeking through that, you actually see like decorations and stuff. There seems to be it's broken glass underneath and whatnot, like maybe some vandalism. And as you walk down the main line, Mr. Packett points out a few things. You say, "Oh, on the left, well, we just passed the warehouse and the main production for the meadery. And then right up ahead is the city hall. It's where the mayor is. And right next door is actually the lodge that we also have rooms available for you. In the lodge, that is the, excuse me, that is the Gray Mare. I'll introduce you to Miss Marlene later. She's a wonderful hostess. And actually, this is one of the few locations as you pass by, you can actually hear a few instruments being tuned inside. And the dullness that seems to be about the rest of the town, there seems to be a spark of something in there as you walk by.
In the lodge.
in the lodge, the Gray Mare. It's like that is the primarily, where most of the people go, especially right now.
It's sparking up in there, man.
Well, it's the taverness, Miss Marlene. She rules. She does pretty good. Pretty good. For herself.
Does the
Not what
rest
she
of the
used to be, though.
It's just like I said, you've been hired for a thing. I'll let Lord Flint tell you about it because it's his business, and I don't. Not my place to say unless he tells me otherwise.
But I do have like one inquisitive question. I was
Okay.
noticing like a lot of broken glass and stuff, which is like totally uncool.
Yeah.
Does that have anything to do with why we're here and like the troubles, man?
It might be. It might all be related one way or another. That's why we have investigators being hired. That's what you're all here for. I hope.
Well, yes. Before we meet Lord Flint, though, who exactly would be fired if we don't solve something? Like what?
A lot of the town. Almost
A lot of
all
the
town.
town.
All of the town is pretty much owned by Mr. Flint.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, that'd
Wow.
be.
So what you're saying, dude, is like no pressure, right?
Oh no, I wouldn't say that either. Maybe.
So wait, he could literally fire and displace an entire town's worth of
A
citizens.
large portion of it, like a large portion of it.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
Are you-
he's-
Now,
that?
like,
how's your job performance been, Mr. Packett? You
Well,
chopping block, or-
I should be okay.
well, I'm sure we can help you out.
I'm.
yeah.
You came highly recommended from one of your previous contracts. It's there was a man with a rubber mask that you did a thing, and
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah,
he would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for
Been
us
free.
meddling
Yeah.
invested buddies.
exactly. So yeah, basically, we reached out to a couple of the local constabularies, and your guys had come up a couple different times. Luckily, you guys apparently are discreet, because that's kind of a thing we would like. With the wassailing coming up, we kind of want to have tourism isn't a thing, but we kind of want it to become a thing because this is kind of a nice place usually. So we kind of want to encourage that a little more.
Well, you might want to up the cheer a little bit.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not-
kind of why you're here.
And then like make a big like deal about legalizing it, man, because you take something that is all
Legalizing-
about fun and having a good time, and then all of a sudden let people think that all of a sudden it's suddenly legal. All sorts of people are going to come from all around and just come and chill and
Make what legal?
partake.
He's
What are we making legal?
That whole wassailing stuff you're smoking.
I don't think we're talking about the same
No.
thing. And at this point, this conversation has gone on long enough that you've come to the end of your journey, and there is a reasonably sized mansion up in front of you. Gates open. There is like a little B symbol on the front as it swings open. A fountain that is somehow still working in the freezing cold is shooting what looks like hot water out in different colors in front of it. But as you get closer to the house, you realize a lot of these like niceties and affectations seem to have been added on recently. As you realize this house is austere. You are investigators. You realize this place is not normally cheery ever. And you can see like Mr. Packett stop and like adjust something like on a column. He's like, I did most of this. And
It looks wonderful.
Thank
you
you.
did a
I added,
lovely job.
I did a little bit of magic and made the water heat up. I added the bubbles and the color.
Ooh.
Oh.
You use magic.
Don't tell Mr. Flint.
Very
Not even
well.
Of course.
He doesn't know you do magic.
Oh, that he doesn't care. No, he knows I do magic. He just doesn't. I try to help with his frivolity. Sometimes doesn't
I see.
work any of the time. Yeah, but keep trying is what I say.
Well,
Anyway,
you're
That is
doing a
correct.
perfect job. It's lovely.
so as the house's door is open and it's thrown, you see a gothic interior that is poorly lit by candles. It is elegant. It is wealthy, but you can tell this is not a person in a wassailing mood. As the door swings open, you hear a voice in the distance. Who is it?
The
Who's
Investor
there?
Buddies.
The what? And you hear Mr. Packard be like, it's the investigators I hired, sir.
Thank
Send
you.
them in.
We are.
And a door in the distance creepily creaks open, and you see firelight coming from inside. Don't make me wait. Mr. Packett's like closes the door. He's like, go ahead.
This guy seems like a peach.
B.O.B. goes in.
Shoot. All right. So
Yes.
as you enter,
Fucking happiness animal. Let's go.
you enter a study that is marble lined. There's a fireplace crackling, but that is the only sign of warmth. There's a large mahogany desk covered in papers. There's no chair for anyone to sit in. And you see an elderly human hunched with a cane standing at the window staring out.
Lord Flint?
Lord Flint.
Turning, you see what used to be a strong, proud man hunched with age, but still with vitality. You see in his eyes cold calculation. You're the people that were hired.
Correct.
That's us.
And his cane just kind of starts rhythmically tapping on the ground. Well,
As sharp as ever.
did you say something, miss?
I have a little tickle in my throat.
Yes, well, get that looked at so you don't want to die. Anyway.
Oh, no concerns about that.
I
But
would
thank
say-
you for your care.
Yes, no, I stopped listening after you. Anyway, what I have you here for is my town is in duress.
Clearly.
Something
We noticed. We noticed. You sent the
We
letter.
have begun our observations.
good. Good, you didn't waste time. Excellent. I have brought you here because unless things are corrected, something has happened around this town, and I do not consent. I may not approve of this wassailing or this cheer, but this town needs to continue to produce. And if the people don't get what they like, then it's going to impede my investments. So you're here to figure out who has done vandalism, who has undermined this town's sense of well-being, who is now going to mess with my potential tourism business. I do not approve. I may not like what they do, but they like it. So you're here to fix it because I could rather not be bothered. Questions?
Yeah, crotchety little dude there. I got a question. So you want us here to find out what might be the source of the unpleasantness in this city that you own, that you call your own. So therefore, you must have your mark all over it, and you're wondering why people might be unhappy. Is that what I'm getting here?
I just sort of slide to the side away from Syl, like,
What I'm saying is something recently has changed, and you need to find out what it is. All that I know is something has recently begun to undermine What little good cheer was in this town, like I could give a shit. But to be quite honest, the people do, and I need them to do their jobs. What I do know is, if it affects productivity, I lose money, and that is not what I want.
At
Do you
what
have
time do you believe that you started noticing differences?
A week before I sent the letter to you. And then he gestures out the window in actually the direction he was looking. Around the time that the lighthouse developed that little bit of a flicker. It is so very annoying. But it's not my problem. That's that damned wizard. He should have fixed it by now anyway.
A wizard.
Yes, we have a wizard. Well, I don't have a wizard. There's a wizard nearby.
Have you requested the wizard look into this at all?
Yeah, he's not a very good wizard.
I see.
Yeah, if you want to talk to Cronatius the Wondrous, be my guest. Charlatan, I guess is the best way to describe him personally. There's a reason why there's a wizard that's a lighthouse keeper, and it's not because he's good with lights. As he gestures and points out at it.
Is it flickering right now?
Is it flickering? Yeah.
It's currently turning different colors for some reason.
Oh, oh that's lovely.
It's
I like that.
annoying
We gotta,
and
you have
also unprofessional.
we gotta find you some cheer.
Dude, you realize like colored lights and like light shows and stuff bring in people from all over. That's like totally cool.
Yeah.
You may also want to consider like vacation time and maybe a benefits package for your employees. That sometimes has been known to lift the spirits of the local laborers working class. You know, man.
They should be lucky I let them have a union.
Do you have a?
They got a union, dude.
Stop it.
Listen, don't worry about what my employees are doing unless they're the ones vandalizing and
You have, like,
removing
a-
cheer from Listen, I'm done. I told you what the problem is. Go.
Do you,
I can tell you right now, man. I have a feeling part of the problem is communication because mano a mano, you just gotta kind of have
Still.
Phil.
Yeah,
Mr.
you want some communication. Hold on. He goes over his desk, writes a note, rips it, Packet. And you see Mr. Packet like sprint and slide and, sir, here, give that to them. And he just looks at the sheet, walks over and hands it to whoever reaches for it first.
I'll grab it.
Yeah. The note says, leave and do your work. Have I communicated properly to you?
Oh, we're gonna communicate, but yes, thank you.
Fantastic. And
Can,
he just turns his back away from you.
Can we borrow Mr. Packet for just a short while?
Bah.
As
I
we
believe
go to
that was a
leave,
yes.
Syl does a loop over by the desk to get as close without being obvious to Flint as possible, and lets out a nice big squirt of hallucinogenic spores and then walks out of the room.
So, you do that, really?
Toot and run.
That is interesting.
Uh-oh.
All right, so you are now... Mr. Packet escorts you back out. You're now basically being let out of the front.
Mm-hmm.
The snow has started to fall.
Nice.
And night is close approaching. But because of this storm, it is darker than it should be now, even though it is somewhere late afternoon, early evening. Well,
Totally beautiful, man.
So
Nature's
you have
a wondrous thing.
Yeah. Oh no, it's fantastic. So you've been told there is something that's some vandalism that's been happening. Something's been scaring the townsfolk.
Is there a guard or anybody who's looked into any of this yet?
Nope. That's why we hired you guys.
Wow. Okay.
So there's no guards anywhere?
Do you have any form of law enforcement?
We have the mayor who kind of runs the town, sort of. And no, there's no like constabulary or anything. We really don't have too many issues. Usually, like if somebody does the thing, They go, they'll go before the mayor, and he'll just rule, and whoever's not being, a bad person, kind of thing. This is kind of out of the ordinary for us, to be quite honest. This is pretty efficient running a little town here.
I do have a
totally
question there, Mr. Monocle Man.
Yeah. Packet name.
Yes, it is. Does Mr. Flint usually have dealings with the local constabulary people, as it were, on a regular basis?
The mayor?
No, Mr. Flint. Because we're talking about the local population being really, really unhappy and like totally not being able to chill.
There's no constabulary, as you say here.
I don't know what that word means, man.
It's just
you're going to have to kind of get down to my level.
I thought you just said constabulary to me. Am I drunk?
You're
I don't know, man. You must have spoken something.
And as this conversation is going on,
basically, Sill's asking,
well,
does Flint have a lot to do with the local people? Because if they're miserable, it seems pretty obvious to Sill why they're miserable.
Well, he kind of owns the town to a certain extent. A lot of people work making the mead. That is like 80% of what is done. I say the other 20% is making the town run, kind of thing. And he's given loans to some of the small business owners and whatnot, that kind of thing.
Well, that's totally cool.
Well, he just he knows how to run a business. He's not necessarily a people person at all.
Clearly.
You don't say, dude.
He counts on you for that, right? Packet?
I think it would be wise if we questioned the mayor as to the other businesses and the other vandalisms and perhaps the crimes that have been committed.
As you guys are having this discussion and maybe starting to walk back toward the town, you hear screaming, and you see people fleeing in the distance coming from the meadery proper, the big warehouse that you initially passed by.
That's our cue.
Warning! Yeah. I detect danger.
Yes, Bob, in that direction. Let's go.
And the group charges off. And as you start to approach this building, you see a couple scared villagers and whatnot, workers. It seems like as you're getting closer, the day was ending, maybe a little bit early because of the weather and whatnot. But you see workers and people fleeing, running into their homes, closing their doors. A couple people like at the lodge tavern, like poking their heads out of the windows and like looking to see what's going on. And you just hear a guttural roar from the back of the warehouse.
Dude, someone's stomach's rumbling pretty loud.
And as you see, one of the last of the workers, who weirdly enough, like actually had some like cheery clothing on, looks like it's ripped and destroyed. And they have scratches, almost deep gouges in their back, not necessarily debilitating them because they obviously kept running. You see a person like look back, yell, and then bump into you guys and kind of fall onto the ground.
Okay, I'm going to look at them. Sill's going to look at them and see, utilize their medicine kit to see if perhaps they can help them and like, how bad it might be.
Give me a medicine roll, please.
Can I help?
Yes, you can. Medicine check with advantage. Bob breaks out this little medical kit from somewhere and is basically doing the nurse assistant role for Paul's doctor. So, with a dirty 20, yes, you assess these wounds. They'll leave superficial scarring, but they're not necessarily debilitating. Like, they definitely are bleeding a lot, but you assess it and you're able to quickly and succinctly, you put some poultices in there, using some of your spore magic. Do you want to describe how it looks that you heal these 3 long rakes across their back?
I use this medical kit to bind the wound, but as it's happening, these different spores of different colors are beginning to sparkle from particular mushrooms on my cap. and are coming and through the air just kind of sink in not only into the wound, but also into their face and their nose and mouth. And they're beginning to, where they were in pain before, all of a sudden, they're just kind of sighing and totally chilling and totally relaxing. And you notice that the wounds start to close up a little bit and begin to heal. And I use the bandages and stuff to help that along, man.
And the guy just like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. What the fuck is looking at me right now?
Oh, it's
You are
totally
being
cool,
saved.
What?
I love your holiday adornment, man. Whatever
Yeah,
did that
so-
to it is totally uncool.
This person
What was
is
that?
wearing the tattered remains of what could be described as an ugly wassailing sweater. The wassailing company wassailing party sweater competition champion. And he like coughs a little bit of blood up. It's like
Jeez.
creature, and then he kind of like points in the warehouse, and then he's not dead. He just passes out from the trauma.
Brandy, like, clean up his face. Clean up the little dude's face. And Brandy comes over and just starts licking his face clean.
Yes,
I'm
And
keeping
that
an eye on the
dry,
warehouse.
leathery mushroom
Ugh.
fungi tongue just kind of like dry sandpaper, just licking this guy's face. Clean
Oh,
of
he
blood.
was spitting up blood, you know?
Yeah, clean of blood. Yeah, the
After-
blood is definitely being lapped up.
After Syl finishes treating the wounds, I would take out my tools and cast mending on the sweater so that it's back in nice condition.
This Christmas sweater, you're not sure if it should look this bad, but it is intact now, and you're questioning
supposed to be
your
tacky on
magical
purpose.
mending ability, because it is hideous in ways that no one can really describe. But
Bob, that was a
it's
totally
fixed.
righteous move. I commend your kindness.
So while
I
this is-
appreciate that. Thank you, Syl.
So while this is going on, what is Tasha and Dan?
Spiros.
Spiros.
Yeah. What is
Sister
Spiros?
Agnew to you, though.
Spiros and Tasha.
Oh, shut up.
What are Spiros and Tasha up to right while the healing is going on? Because you heard that there is a creature still in the warehouse.
Yes,
Right.
I'm keeping an eye on the warehouse, and I step off to the side and let them fix this guy.
Okay.
And while they're doing that, first I cast Mage Armor, and I just kind of look at Tasha.
So
and
you
be
cast
like,
Mage Armor, and give me a perception check if you're keeping an eye out. What is Tasha up to?
Okay, Tasha is pretty similar to Spiros. I have pulled out both daggers, and I am looking towards the warehouse, making sure if whatever is in there is coming out, or if there are more people.
Okay. So then, Ruby, give me a roll as well. Perception. We'll see if you do better than Dan.
Try to do better than my 3.
Oh. Yes, Spiros
Hey.
is looking at a different building apparently.
Yeah.
Okay. So
18.
you're peeking around the corner. You see in the front a bunch of the different wagons that were brought in with the supplies and whatnot. Some of them look like they're unloaded. Some of them look like they have new mead barrels put them already. But in the background, you see a bunch of extra lighting and what looks like greenage and foliage, the stuff that like Syl didn't notice, but like some of the wassailing decorations, mistletoe and garlands and stuff are, and there's some, but they're all askew, thrown about, torn up. And that's all and you notice some destruction, but at this distance, that's all you can tell. You still hear some clattering, but it's not as loud, and you don't hear a roaring anymore. What do you want to do?
Let's go.
Is this building near the water?
Yes, it is near the water line. This is this is the big warehouse close to the docks. The ferry is already gone though.
Okay.
I'm assuming, Syl, you're slow to average speed.
I'm like, I like to chill, but I can move with the best of them, man.
What about Tasha? Are you quick?
Tasha's quick. Tasha can move it.
Elf fast.
I'm just thinking if somebody wants to try to circle around in case something goes out the back.
I can.
You know what? I got that because the water's back there, man, and I think I can use that to our advantage.
But hurry.
Come along, Brandy. Let's go and check out the little water area.
All right, so still circling around back, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll deal with you, Paul, in a minute, but the rest of you go into the building, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So the rest of you notice the stuff that Tasha has already noticed herself. Looks like a busy workplace, but it looks like as you get toward the back of the warehouse, where maybe more of the crating and putting like the bottling of the mead that takes place here is done. And you see what looks like maybe it was like a little impromptu dance floor. There's what looks like the remains of instruments and a couple of festival things put up. And there is destruction here. I need all three of you give me investigation checks to see if you guys notice this. Okay.
17.
I'm doing
Mine's
a group. I'm in like Paul sometimes does group stealth. I did group investigation here. And
Mine's a 10, adjusted 10.
Adjusted 10, perfect.
Yep.
So even better. So I want the three of you to describe how do you guys go about solving and looking for clues while you're here? What is the process you guys kind of do? How do you divvy it up between the three of you while you're in here? This is a warehouse and building with obvious destruction. Is some of you doing magical stuff? Is some of you looking for physical evidence? How does it look? What does it do?
So we don't see whatever scratched the guy that we healed. There's nothing there.
There's no evidence. You don't see there's not a guy with a giant claw in his hand or something. No, like that I would have pointed out.
Right. Thank you. I mean,
good to ask. Good to double check. It's just in the corner standing there. It's like nobody asked about me.
Right.
So I just stand here.
Well, surprise!
Surprise, motherfucker! Just jump out of the... No.
I think B.O.B. would be looking to where the most damage is and looking for any form of like trace of life, like a hair or like a claw mark, things like that.
Interesting. All right. So what does Spiro do investigation-wise in here?
So I cast light on... I got like a little coin. I keep it on my palm, and I cast light on it, and I'm using like a flashlight and getting a good look. And I want to investigate to see if I see like other of these claw marks, where like whatever it destroyed, if it looks like it was the same claw mark type deal, or if it was and I'm looking for tracks too.
Tracks
on the exits. Yep.
And what is Tasha doing?
Yeah,
Assisting one of those?
I would be looking for tracks, trying to figure out where it left, which way it went.
So with the three of you working together, Bob notices that because you're specifically focusing on the destruction, one of the incongruities you pick up, and the clue you find, is nothing infrastructure-wise in the warehouse has been destroyed. Everybody could go back to work almost immediately. None of the product has been destroyed. None of the wagons. Like, there's some superficial scratching and damage of that nature, but none of it seems to have affected warehouse work.
What was the common thing among all of the things that were destroyed?
It was like the table that had snacks and drinks on it was wrecked. There's a musical instrument or two that looks like it's been smashed. There's, like I said, it's where
all the decorations, the wassailing decorations.
Where the wassailing party was happening, weirdly enough, seems like it was the target.
The only one who seemed to have been attacked was wearing a festive sweater.
Correct.
So the you two, while Bob was focusing on the damages, you see tracks leading away. They seem kind of like a normal footprint to a certain extent. But also you pick up along the sides and edges like scratch marks. Like if maybe you were walking with two swords in your hands and you were holding them down and almost dragging them along the wooden floors.
Oh, it's like a constant.
So you
line
see
almost?
footsteps, and
Mhm.
now they're irregular.
Hmm.
It doesn't happen all the time, and you notice every time you don't see a line, there's damage on the wall or something like they might have picked up their hand and used whatever they did to. And you notice as you're looking at all these signs as you're following it away toward the back of the warehouse, any kind of festive thing that's been put up was the target. And there are some that hadn't been hit, but it almost looks disoriented to a certain extent and just lashed out. And now we'll cut to Syl out back. You make your way around the warehouse and to the back. Describe the process to me. What does Syl bring to the investigation? How do they do their work?
Syl kind of just has the air of nonchalance as they're kind of mosey around the back, but kind of at a quicker pace. Letting Brandy kind of take the lead, but kind of always focusing on the prize, which at this point is to get around to the back of the building to see if anybody has exited or made their way out of the offending structure, as it were.
So what Syl obviously notices is that the back door was ripped off its hinges and is laying there casually, just on the ground.
Are there any prints or anything showing where something's wrong?
You see scratch marks leading from the back door in the wooden surface of, because this is near the waterline, there's basically a boardwalk almost surrounding this building, and this building actually extends out over the water. This kind of gives you a layout for good mead. Like you're by the warehouse right now, and the building just to the north you use the inn. You go around back, Paul, and you see these scratch marks leading to the water line.
Into the water or into the boardwalk?
Into the water. Like you see it dragging across the boardwalk and into the water.
Okay, do I see like any sort of disturbance in the water kind of in the direction that the tracks are leading?
You know what? Give me a perception check to see if you notice anything hinky going on. All right, with 12, with the storm coming in, the water's a little choppy. You're not 100% sure, but you think you might have seen bubbles like more toward the north, perhaps. But
by any chance, is the lighthouse towards the north?
It is. That is kind of what you notice in the back. What does Brandy do for you investigation-wise?
Sniffing about.
Okay.
Brandy's sniffing about. But now here's the question. Where I saw the bubbles,
yeah.
What would you say was the distance away that was? Roughly?
It was a little ways away. You're not 100% sure how deep the water is. You know that ferry coming in, that the depth here has to be pretty deep for that thing to be able to pull in and unload and take cargo, at least in the immediate area.
Okay, but the bubbles were probably more than 30 feet away from me?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, you're not 100% sure it's related to that. I mean, it could be some fish swimming near the surface as well.
I'm going to go in the door and hopefully see the group.
Yeah, as you're walking in the door, you're basically bumping in with Tasha and Spiro as they're coming out the other way.
I'm going to go, yo, Investor Buddies, activate. We got to make our way to the lighthouse, dudes.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the Investor Buddies. That name.
Are you saying this, Syl, because the lighthouse has decorations with the lights? Because
now, while the festiveness and everything is all quite positive in my total kind of feeling and brings me all sorts of warm and fuzzies, that has nothing to fucking do with it, dude. Because I just saw the bubbles from whatever dragged itself out here, and it's headed towards the lighthouse, man.
Oh, okay.
So come along, hop along there, muchachos. Let's get ourselves out there.
It may be seeking to destroy those lights because apparently it does not like this. Was
Did it go back into the water?
Oh yeah, it's a swimmer. Yeah,
Because I can actually upgrade myself to travel through the water as well.
Oh, awesome.
If that would be helpful.
Well, I'll tell you what. Can you navigate your way in that direction towards the lighthouse, and the rest of us that are more kind of terrestrial, as it were to head that way?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to split the party. All right.
Hold on, man. No. Does anyone want to go with Bob?
I would like to point out it is very cold.
Yes.
And this water, the main reason it hasn't frozen is because it's salt water. And the freezing temperature for that is a little bit higher.
I don't know if that would be good for me.
Just putting it out there. Yeah. If you want, I'm not going to tell you no.
Your name's Bob. I once knew a shark named Bruce, and saltwater just played havoc on him.
Yes. I don't know if the salt water would be good for my systems, but I do think that, I mean, I can upgrade myself to have a body accustomed to an aquatic environment with my spell Alter Self. So perhaps it might work.
Well, you know, Bob, before you get to the second stanza of that alliteration, I think we should probably mosey along and hop to it.
Oh no, of course. I do believe we are heading in the direction.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Okay. Brandy's leading the way.
Okay. So as the party makes it down Main Street and then takes a right heading north toward the lighthouse, you guys are seeing, people poking their heads out, whispering about what was going on. And you go by the Gray Mare. It's a little quieter, but you can hear there's still a bunch of people in there.
Oh, wow, dudes. The old Gray Mare ain't what it used to be. Look.
But you can still hear one musician, apparently a brave one, is tuning up an instrument. Continue on toward the lighthouse.
As we pass by, if there's a window or something by where that musician is, Syl just goes through with his spores lets them seep in there and goes, "Play Freebird, man."
Yeah, so you hear distinct chords being plucked now on a mandolin that all of you recognize, but you're not 100% sure why. I'll do the produce flame, manipulate flame, and just kind of stick it up. Yeah,
way to go, dude. We keep
and
going.
as you guys are making your way toward the lighthouse, you hear the band actually strike up and play a rendition that is of a bird being free. That won't get us a copyright stroke.
Wow, who knew they could play this in a polka sort of style, man? That's kind of
listen,
original.
Talent is talent.
We don't have time for that silk one.
This you can see the lighthouse. It's a little ways away. This is probably the most distant building from the town.
Hey, Bob. Noticed. Bob, kind of, with those telescopic orbs that you got there, focus there on the water around the lighthouse. See if you can see anything coming up out of the water right around the lighthouse. I think that might be what we're looking for.
Sure thing.
I need Bob to give me a perception check.
Okay.
Those are some righteous peepers you got there, dude.
Thank you.
Or investigation, whatever actually works better for you.
What's a perception?
Can I help?
You can give a help if you want. See if you can get better than 16.
17.
Much higher.
So much higher.
You notice nothing at the moment. No.
I see nothing.
Well, you notice the waves are getting choppier. The storm is picking up. The snow is starting to fall heavier.
I give the weather update.
They're all feeling it. As you're approaching this lighthouse, you notice that there's a small cabin right next door, you assume, for the lighthouse keeper. What stands out about this particular lighthouse and cabin to the party? if any of you feel like adding a little bit of extra flair to it.
Is it more decorative? I know that the lights were multicolored and flickering. Are there actually decorations on this lighthouse?
I don't know. Do you want there to be decorations? I'm giving you the option.
Yes, it's flamboyant.
Okay. So this is oddly flamboyantly decorated, but the one caveat I'll put on that, this stuff looks older, not necessarily put up recently.
Is it painted red and white like a candy cane?
You're a wizard, so you realize that there was some kind of magical spell cast, that there are some like lights in the windows and stuff that are like red and then green and then red again.
Like almost like dancing lights?
Almost, yeah. Like maybe someone somehow cast dancing lights but kept it going for a bit. But the one thing you do notice about the dancing light spell is that they're flickering, and you know, as a spellcaster, like you try to extend a spell for a period of time, then after a while it starts losing cohesion and will fizzle out and die at some point. These are getting close to being like that. Anyone else want to add any little flair to this warehouse, lighthouse, and cabin?
I was going to say, I think that the cabin actually seems cozier than the ones we saw in town. Maybe just a little warmer. It's not quite as dismal and dreary.
You can tell that cabin, when you're looking at the outside of it, it looks like somebody put some TLC into it. They care for at least what people think the outside looks like. Paul, you got anything? You want to add?
Yeah, well, I was going to ask that TLC that was put into it, would it be kind of homegrown, put together and made to look nice with actual manual labor, or was this done with magic?
This party is pretty magical for the most part, and you realize that like this is a magic touch. This was not like having laborers come over to help out. There is overwhelming sense of magic here, but it's kind of slapshot, kind of like put together piecemeal almost. Like
would we get the feeling that it was maybe done not so much from the heart, but more to make it look like it's meant to be festive?
Possibly. You're getting the sense that this is you know what? Anyone good with Arcana? Give me an Arcana roll, please.
I feel like the wizard might be best. Yeah.
You got it.
Anyone can give it to me. Don't care who.
Here it comes.
I'll help, but I'm kind of useless with Arcana, but I'd help.
Yeah.
Oh, anyone can do it?
Yeah, anyone can do it. I mean, anyone can pretend they know what they're doing.
My rolls are
I do it all the time.
I didn't pretend very well,
Oh, God. Oh,
I got a 10. I only got a 10.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you guys have been around magic. That looks like kind of magic or something.
Right.
That's about the vibe you're getting off. You're like, oh, this place is magical.
It's super magical.
You've been breathing in these spores.
You might be getting that because you know there's a wizard that lives there. And that's about it.
I'm blaming Syl and his spores.
Maybe the wizard's here. Maybe we go talk to old Curvaceous the Fabulous or whatever.
Curvaceous.
Whatever.
All right, so
Tasha Dudette. I think that was that other place in town with the sparkling lights and the happy hour that was mentioned. You know,
it was Carnatius. Carnatius, I believe.
The Carnatius.
Oh, it was
Carnatius.
This is the audio recording brought to you by Bob. Carnatius.
Thank you, Bob.
Spelled
Carnatius. The normal spelling.
Bob, can you use it in a sentence?
Yes. Carnatius
no
is a wizard.
A charlatan, probably. And lighthouse keeper.
Perfect.
Bob likes to wear a carnation on their lapel. Says Syl.
Let's go see if Carnation is in, and we can talk to him.
Okay, so you guys go up to the door, and you barge in, knock.
I'll
What kind of
knock.
adventure? What kind of investigator
Are
adventures
there any of those deep gouges anywhere around, like coming up out of the water anywhere or anything like that before we Go in there looking for some
you're
instant
gonna
breakfast.
have to give me some perception checks then.
You
I'll
got
let
it.
I'll
If
let
I can-
whoever thought to do it. Give me perception checks. Maybe you guys will have better than Arcanas.
If I
Okay,
can
I'm
help, I will
also.
help.
I am also. I'll take the help. I'm also going to give myself guidance.
Yeah,
Excellent.
do that.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Some
eh,
guidance.
wow,
Somebody roll good.
which is
Oh,
good.
Not,
Okay.
not Tasha.
So you don't
No.
necessarily notice any.
26.
Okay. So up close, you don't necessarily notice any deep claw marks or anything like that. But because you're specifically, you go to the water line and you start maybe moving some of the snow out of the way, but also with the rolling of the waves washing up. This isn't a sandy shore. This is a rocky shore. You're not 100% sure. There are marks leading into the water nearby, but you're not 100% sure. They could be a different animal. There could have been a boat being dragged up, but you do find markings along the shoreline.
Sil, do you think that was a narwhal?
Oh, I don't think so, man, because narwhals only have one of those little pointy things, and whatever this thing was had two of them. So it might be a mating pair for all I know.
Pair of narwhal. Ooh.
Yeah. But the thing is, I'm not like totally versed on Arctic type of sea life, but I do happen to know that they don't usually walk on their horns, and that could be the problem.
That is correct.
Okay.
How do you both know so much about narwhal?
I read about it once.
I
Narwhal
had a vision
aficionados.
once when I was tripping.
I should very much like to read that at some point.
If we ever go back to my house, I can show you my library.
I would love that, Bob. Thank you.
Shall
There
we
was
not?
this scribe called Timothy Leary I like. I'd be up to reading some more of that.
So as Bob knocks on the door,
I quickly whisper to Tasha. I'm like, Tasha, hide. Just in case.
and as you're telling her to hide, the door kind of just creaks open a little bit.
Don't.
Look.
Don't.
Hello.
Nobody responds.
The door
No.
was open.
Oh, like the knock opened the door?
The knock opened the door, yes.
Oh.
Okay, so
Do we have a warrant? Can we enter?
Not
I don't-
just
That's not a thing I don't think we need, Bob. I think we can offer to help since
I think
Robert.
it's totally cool to kind of help this person without bringing in any 80s rock bands, man.
Hello, we are the Investa Buddies.
Okay.
We have come to help.
Your greeting is met with silence.
cool.
I am not picking
Time
up
to
any
go
sound.
in.
Yeah, I think we should hurry just in case they're in trouble.
All right.
Hey, little light sputtering magic dude. We heard the party was here. Hope you
Are
don't
there-
mind. We're crashing.
Are there
So-
any windows that I could see through before we go in, like so we don't just?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
As Bob's like fist about to touch the door, you look through the window and you notice what looks like a somewhat cozy cabin. You do one thing you do notice is there's like a door ajar, and you realize that's probably the door that leads into the lighthouse proper. But otherwise, you see it's like just a big open room.
Right.
It's seems pretty open to you. You don't. There's not like unless they're like hiding under the bed or
Is it
in,
dark
like,
in here,
a
or is
chest
there
of
light?
closets. So as you open it, you realize that the only light that's coming inside is from the sputtering, dancing lights that were cast by the windows. They're casting it on the inside as well, and it gives the place a kind of eerie, flickering look because it's just red and green, just pulsing off beat in this darkened cottage. That, for the most part, seems nice, well intact.
Hmm.
Do the floorboards have any markings on them?
Is there a summoning circle?
There's no summoning circle as far as you can tell. Not sure if there's marks because it looks like there's been furniture and stuff dragged about, but also these floors aren't wood. These seem to be made of the same stone that like the lighthouse foundation was made out of. You could see like throw rugs all over the place, like where somebody might walk or stand. Like there's one under the table, one under the bed, like using that to insulate on the. And if you reach down and feel a stone, you realize a magic user might have cast something like to heat the stone to keep it warm.
Oh.
Do we see pairs of long scratches anywhere?
Notice maybe some gouging on the wooden frame of the door that leads into the lighthouse.
Onward, muchachos.
I think he's in the well. Someone went to the lighthouse or didn't shut the door behind them.
He's probably not worried. Well,
So do you guys do anything else in this cabin living area?
you know
I
what?
will go ahead, Dan.
I'm gonna cast detect magic.
Okay. So you cast detect magic, and in here, like you notice, there's the dancing lights. There's some kind of heat spell that is keeping the floor warm, which is actually keeping the cabin itself a somewhat livable temperature. Even though not necessarily 100% comfortable. Like obviously they start a fire to keep warm and whatnot. As you go around, you notice there's a bunch of like little touches that you as a magic user notice, like a couple little magical gadgets here and there for maybe like writing.
Magical writing gadgets?
Yeah, you know, it's you work with an artificer, so you know, like there are things available. Nothing really out of the ordinary magic wise. Like this is all stuff for creature comfort for somebody who has the ability to use magic, at least in this area.
Go gadget graphic novel, man.
And you notice like there's like one book laying on the bed, but for a wizard, you notice that there's no other books in here, which is strange because that's kind of like your shtick as wizards.
Yeah, but you might like to read at the top of the lighthouse. That's what I would do.
Could B.O.B. look around to see, like, you know, signs of like recent life, like
please.
If there's like a food storage, like how old is the food in there? Is there anything new that's been eaten? Things like that.
Excellent. Give me an investigation check for that, please.
Okay.
You're gonna find the blood bank. Oh my god.
Ooh, 21.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So what you do notice is you notice that there's some, even with like a magical version of a refrigerator, food spoiling in there, there is a layer of dust on things. This place has potentially been vacant maybe a month. You're not sure, but maybe nothing longer than that. You are a somebody who is fastidious, who does upkeep around a house a lot. This is your thing. This is what you like. And you notice, like, specifically, like, you draw one of your fingers through, like, the kitchen table, and there is enough collected there that you're like,
This really needs a cleaning crew.
So you get the feeling that Carnatius has at least not been in the cabin, maybe a month at most.
I relay this to them. I don't believe that the wizard has been here for about a month. There has been no one to take care of the food, nor dust, nor take care of really anything around here.
The lights here in the windows, they do also look like the enchantment is perhaps ending soon. Like they've not been kept up.
So yeah, where?
Shall we go into the lighthouse and investigate further?
We should. What if he's a were-narwhal? With legs.
I have never heard of this. What is this?
Why?
Just
Wild
to hunt.
speculation. I love it. I'm almost sad with what the choice I did make was now. Next time.
Never mind. It's a silly idea. I'm sure it's nothing that bad.
Oh no, you didn't hear anything I said.
No, I know.
This
I know.
damn ruse.
When Bob says that Like, what the hell's that? Basically, I'm kind of like, yeah, it's a silly idea. Never mind.
I will log possible where narwhal underneath Cranacious the Wizard.
So does the party go into the lighthouse?
Yes.
What does the party notice about the interior of this lighthouse that makes it obvious that this is a wizard's magical lair?
Books, kind of scattered potions, notes scattered all over the place.
That's a great idea, Brianna. So you notice that the walls of this lighthouse, as you look up and it ascends, this is where his library is. This lighthouse is 4 or 5 stories tall, and as you walk around the stairwell, there is basically bookcases that follow the stairs around the entire way up, spiraling. Anyone else want to add
There also
anything?
be spiraling, dancing lights going all the way up the length of the lighthouse as well?
Yes. And you notice these lights are also having the same problem as the dancing lights in the windows. They seem to need like a refresh.
There are scorch marks on one part of the tower from a fireball mishap.
It's classic accidental wizard fireball indoors.
Yeah.
Not knowing what 15 by 15 means.
Yeah.
I didn't ask how big the room was.
I said I cast fireball.
Sink with a bunch of dishes that haven't been cleaned maybe in weeks.
Okay.
Solitary wizard stuff, you know.
Standard dude stuff.
I'm
And a nice
specifically
rug.
looking at if there's whoever's in front should be looking for tracks. Make sure. If,
Yeah,
if there's a lot of dust on the steps and things like that.
I was going to ask if the stairs are metal like in a lot of lighthouses or if they
Yes,
might
they
be
are.
wood. Okay.
They're metal. Yes.
And
they're
are the bookshelves wood by chance?
Yes, the bookshelves are wood.
Are we noticing any gouges in those?
No, but you do notice there's a couple things thrown about, not necessarily thrown about, but unsettled here on the ground floor. This, I definitely need everyone to make Arcana checks.
Oh, 20.
I should be good in these, but I'm rolling like shit.
Natural 20.
Okay.
I got a 16. 60, so it's not too good.
So not an unnatural 20 for
All right,
me,
perfect.
which is ridiculous.
Okay.
I'm still the worst one.
All right. No, but regardless, you all have done successful information gathering. So what you see in
I'm
front
too
of
busy
you,
looking for bees.
what you see in front of you is a ritual circle
Oh,
that was for some kind of large magical ritual. You see very expensive equipment around that is now not necessarily like destroyed, but like teetered over. There's a large book open on the far side, and there seems
Far
like,
side, man. I love the far side.
and yes, on the far side with the book is a large emerald crystal that has a crack and it's broken and laying there. How do you guys go about your investigation process? This is the 4 of you working together. How do you break down how do you investigate what it looks like a magical mishap? How does the group work together with this?
This is still the ground floor, or have we gone up?
Still the ground floor. No.
Oh.
So if you look up, you see the stairs spiraling around. There's a bunch of books. It looks like there's a metal catwalk above. Here on the ground floor, there's the most space. And there it looks like there's some kind of like this is where the main laboratory might be. There might be more stuff upstairs, but you just haven't gotten there yet. But with the investigation roll you guys have gotten, you realize something significant happened right here.
I'm going to say, Tasha Dudette, I think you would probably be the best choice to maybe check out to see if there are any secret doors, especially going down, as well as to check out that there's no traps that, we don't want to stumble on something, then cuckoo choo, we're all dead.
That is
Because that would be like such a bummer at the end of this day,
that would definitely be the bummer, as you
Yeah.
say.
I'm
So,
protected. I really, before you touch that circle though, is can I tell? Is the circle look intact or like it was messed up, which might release something?
It looked like whatever happened in that ritual circle happened and is done.
So the circle's still intact, though.
The circle is still intact, but you're getting a vibe from it. Like you're an accomplished wizard. You've done plenty of ritual spells, and this looks like a ritual that has gone wrong.
Okay.
The circle's not activated, though. There's no magic associated with it at the moment.
That has come and gone. You are now looking at the scene of a magical mishap.
I think
That's part of what you've gathered so far. I'm just curious to see how you guys would go about doing it, like individually.
B.O.B. would probably go and
Okay.
look at the book and what was being studied to perform this ritual, as well
All right.
as the emerald.
Okay, so
Is it-
we'll get to that. Dan?
Is my detect magic still up or no?
Yes. You detect, despite the fact that you, as you're looking at this ritual circle, realize that something had occurred a while ago. Faint traces of necromancy.
Yeah.
Tasha, you are going around and checking for additional traps and whatnot. And you notice the chest that is next to the workstation is in fact trapped. And what is Syl doing to assist with the investigation?
Well, Syl is right there with their companion Brandy, and I'm talking to Brandy and saying, "Hey there, little buddy. Let's give a little sniff around here and see if you smell anything that's alive or."
Interesting. Okay. I don't need you to roll because I'm just going to do all with the arcanas and stuff you guys already did. Dan, Spiro has realized that this ritual that occurred happened around the same time frame that you realize that Carnacius stopped showing up in his cabin.
Okay.
You've put together a scene where he was performing something and something terrible happened to him.
Yeah. Something necromantic.
Yeah. Would Tasha, after successfully disarming the locks on the chest, open it?
She would.
Interesting. Okay, good. Paul, Brandy starts sniffing around that chest that you notice that Tasha is unlocking. But we're going to cut to Bob real quick.
Well, before we do that,
Yeah.
can Syl cast Detect Good and Evil?
You can cast it. It's not going to necessarily interfere with anything because Bob has already begun investigating. So we'll get to you. You can get to.
I just wanted to get that out there.
Detect Good and Evil. So this is all kind of happening at the same time. You're looking at the crystal and you're looking at the ritual that was cast from this book, and you realize that this wizard tried to become a lich. And that broken crystal you're looking at was supposed to be the phylactery. As you realize this, Syl detects evil from the chest that has just been unlocked, which pops open.
Oh.
And
Do that.
Tasha and Brandy are startled, stumbling back as what at first you think is a robe comes stumbling out of the party, and you realize it's not just a robe.
It hasn't been washed and tied.
No, oh no, it's let's hold on. Let me. Can I share this? Show the players. Do you guys see this thing? It is the skin, meat, and viscera of a person. Comes slumping out of the chest, and everybody roll initiative.
Having
Pineapple.
read vibes here.
Pineapple.
This happened to read before.
10, 19, 20.
I have a 26 adjusted. I'm pretty good.
Does anyone beat a 26?
No.
All right, Dan, what do you do to this flesh sack slurping out toward Tasha?
Does it look like it's attacking, first off?
Paul, would Syl have relayed to everyone that this thing is evil?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so you get a psychic message saying that this thing is evil.
Okay. All right.
And it is, you can't tell if it's hostile because it doesn't have bones to move its face. It looks shocked and surprised. The eyes are kind of like hanging out, but it is moving with intent toward people.
Try to hit it with a ray of frost. Guess who's not a combat mage, guys? It's me. That's a 10.
Ooh, all right. So that frost blast just kind of wings by you.
And then I'm moving.
All right. And then you step back. So let's see. Who was next in the initiative order? Who had next after 26?
I had a 19.
All right. So Bob is up next.
Okay. Seeing that my friend is in danger, I'm gonna run up to it. And kind of put myself, whoopsie, I try to move myself. Put myself kind of between the monster and Tasha. And I'm going to touch it and cast Shocking Grasp.
All right.
Brave Bob. Go Bob.
Go bots.
Go bots.
I think that was a natural one.
So you go to touch it, and things with bones or structure, and you whiff real hard, and just you're like lightning goes and like hits the phylactery in the back, and it just explodes, and there's just green crystal wafting down. This is not going great, guys. Okay. So Paul, what was your initiative?
15.
15. You are up then.
Can I hold my action?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
If you hold your action, then we are on to Ruby. What does Tasha do?
She is going to
successfully hit this thing for the love of Christ.
Please.
Oh my God. Please, but okay.
You are startled and fire an arrow, and it just buries itself into a book high above. Paul, it's your turn again.
It hits the book. You just hear Spiros go, "Ah, no,
not the books,
not the books." Oh,
how high are the? This is pretty tall. The ceilings go up pretty high, right? Because the
correct.
Lighthouse?
No, so this is a lighthouse. You can see multiple stories up. The thing is, there's a spiral staircase with basically like books along the edge. So there's not a ceiling for a couple stories up.
Great, because Syl is going to just look at it and go, lighten up, crusty dude, and cast Levitate on this thing.
Okay, so you cast Levitate on it.
You're going to make it fly?
Is there a saving throw I need to make against this? I think there might be.
Constitution saving throw.
I feel like you could have accomplished the same thing with a gust spell.
Okay, all right, so that's... Oh, yeah, I'll just show that to the camera. I'll make sure I get that right. That is what I rolled, folks.
Yay.
So, yeah, this flesh thing is levitated into the air. And it's just kind of like sagging there and just flopping around. It is unsettling to look at.
Oh, God.
So its turn. It's going to make another Constitution saving throw because are you doing anything else, Paul? That was basically it, right?
I'm moving to a place of cover.
Okay. So yeah, you do.
And
you do
having
that fine.
Brandy in front of me, kind of guarding me.
Gotcha. So it's now its turn. So it's going to see if it saves. What's the number I got to beat to break
16.
free? Yeah, it's yeah. So it's still floating there. So we're going to go back to the top of the order.
Hey.
All right, Dan, guess what? You now have advantage when you attack this thing
Oh, thank God.
because it's a floating flesh sack.
Got it. All right.
Oh, dude, if I had like a gold piece for every time I heard that.
What the fuck, guys?
Wait, is that a 9? I rolled a
You-
9, right?
You
So that's what-
no, you rolled a 5 and a 4.
Oh,
What do you add to your modifier?
plus 6, so it's 11.
No, 11. Oh, God. It's so close. We're so close to hitting it. All right, Dan. What kind of
how
attack
high-
did you do?
Ray of Frost.
Fucking you got magic missile, bro.
Just so
All
you
right.
guys are aware, too, on the
I'm an
stream,
investigator. I didn't-
Yeah.
that you can't see the map. There's a little fleshy dude.
Brianna, you are up in the net order for attack.
Oh,
So you can attack with
wonderful.
advantage. It is floating. So
yes. Okay.
I'll say you
I'm
can
doing-
reach up and touch it if you really want to.
Okay.
Like it's not
Um,
floating far. Just enough where it's out of range where it can attack you, but you can.
I think what I'll do is while it's floating in the air, I'll take advantage of that, and I'm just going to shoot it with acid arrow.
Okay.
That spell, and you said it's with advantage to
With
hit.
advantage, yep. With advantage to hit.
Wonderful. So that's
Beautiful. Yep.
guys.
Oh my gosh.
I can't help you guys more than I'm already helping.
Oh my god.
I mean,
Okay. I'll assume Paul's going to hold his action again. Ruby, are you going to shoot with advantage at it, please?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Tasha was always our best warrior.
Hey.
Okay, that does hit, but you have
Oh my
advantage.
God.
So see if you roll.
Hey!
Okay.
See if you roll better than that.
You
She
got
did twice.
this. Get a crit. Get a crit.
23.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. It's all right. So roll damage.
6. Yep.
16 because it's floating up in the air. Maybe because like there's this acid arrow that is missing at the same time. This ray of frost. The arrow you fire kind of like picks those up along the way and just carries it in and drives it into this thing, and you pin it against the wall
All
as it
three,
just sits there,
all three
all
arrows. They all,
flesh
like,
sacky.
they all Voltron together. Like,
Yeah. Your two extra nonsense helps. Ruby's made what you did better.
yeah. Thank you, thank you, Tasha.
This I do need you guys to give me. What are you guys specialized in? What's like? I want each of you to pick whatever you're best at and roll that skill for me
Okay.
to try to figure out what this thing is. And this is how we're going to say the team working together. Holy shit! All right, that's +6. That
I
should have
rolled,
been
like,
better.
fuck again.
My
Or-
best things
Oh,
are
good.
nature and sleight of hand. Ooh,
I rolled a 12. So that gives me a 18
Okay, that's good.
Arcana.
All right, so now we got 23. Very nice. And Paul, with guidance added to it, excellent. 28. All right.
Nice.
So the median between the four of you working together, you realize that what you're dealing with is this wizard, Carnacius, tried to turn himself into a lich, but failed. With your collective knowledge and going through the books, you realize that if one fails to become a lich, the soul does not go into the phylactery, corrupts the body of the wizard, and becomes a creature that seeks out the most evil person nearby and is subjugated to their will, whether they know it or not. And you know this creature is called a bone claw. Very dangerous.
Well, dude, like, if that's true, wouldn't it be going after, like, Mr. Flint?
No, it's going after what Mr. Flint
But,
does not
hey,
like.
yeah.
Still, with your high roll, you realize you've heard stories. A bone claw doesn't die if it's destroyed. It keeps coming back. Its master needs to die or be redeemed. Those are the stories you've heard. with the collection of information that the rest of the investigators have brought to you, you realize this is the information you've collected. You realize that it makes sense. This creature is taller than even Syl. Long arms made of bone with 3 long claws that will almost drag at its feet. This thing is deadly, evil, and subjugated to the will of a master that is somewhere nearby.
He who hates Wassel. Oh
So
boy.
if everything wassailing and festive is disappearing,
Yep.
and Flint is the one who hates all of that.
Mm-hmm.
My detect good and evil is good for 10 minutes. So would that still be going?
It's still going, yeah. I mean, like, I'll say you got a few minutes left on it.
Can I kind of channel it through Brandy and have Brandy rush up the steps and then back into the other room and kind of do a loop around?
Yeah, let's say you do that.
Okay.
You detect no other good or evil in the area. You
Okay.
detect the lingering evil from the thing that is dying, that is pinned against the wall, that you realize is now the flesh of Carnacius the Wondrous.
Are we to believe that the bone claw thing is made out of his bones?
Yes,
Ugh.
that is your supposition.
And they got bigger.
And since his soul was not contained in the emerald, it was just released, or do we know where that would go?
So you know from your magical studies that, and with the research from the books that you have found around here specifically, you guys realize that when somebody fails at becoming a lich, this is what happens. Their soul is basically bound to the most evil person nearby and is subjugated to their will, whether they know it or not.
So what does redeeming... Who do we have to redeem?
Flint, if we think it's him, we would have to redeem him.
What does
That
that
grumpy
mean?
motherfucker. I don't know. Stab him? Shoot him? Light him on fire?
No.
We shouldn't kill anyone.
You should.
Violence. Nothing can be sorted by violence, dude. We all just have to get together and like mellow together.
Well, I'm not going to be violent. It'll be quick. He won't know what's happening, so there won't be a struggle. So we'll be fine.
Okay, wait. Maybe we should try something different.
I mean, if we kill him, that works, right? If we kill him, like if he's dead or redeemed, right? There was an or in there, either or.
We still do not know for certain that Mr. Flint is the master.
I'm just gonna.
So if we just kill him, we wouldn't know for sure.
Well, there's one way to find out, and it's by letting me stab him.
No,
I don't think we should do that.
Stab him. I mean,
Okay,
Syl can literally detect evil. Maybe we should try that first.
So, okay, we'll put a pin in it for now, but it is on offer that if we need, I will just sneak in there, stabby, slit, and we'll see.
If needed.
So, Chris.
Yes, Paul.
Being that I'm familiar, having read about them, what the bone claw is.
Yeah.
It's a sum of the bones of this wizard. So,
and all of the accumulated magic they were using to become a lich, which is substantial.
Right.
You know that your party of adventurers would be hard pressed to defeat it.
Okay. My question is, with this being made up of the remains of the wizard, would a locate object spell work here?
Would a locate object spell?
If I focus on the bone, the
problem is you aren't personally familiar enough with the bones of that object. Like, if you were accustomed to the bones, then yes, but sadly, no.
If I'm thinking this out loud, I suddenly start to think, I'm like, Is he gonna try to become familiar with all of our bones just in case?
I mean, it's a possibility, but I mean, he's probably familiar enough with the rest of the party's bones at this point. But
I mean, they're not.
he hasn't
showing.
met Carnacious. I don't know where his spores goes once you inhale them.
I think Carnacious D has played their last concert, man.
I think about that, and then I'm like, wait, he's probably reading my mind. I'm like,
So the most recent attack was at the warehouse. So
Right.
shall we find where the tracks led from there?
They went to the water, I believe. I think we need to talk to Mr. Flint, Lord Flint.
Or, alternatively, they might try to strike the tavern next.
This is true.
So-
we're thinking we'd be hard pressed to really
Yeah.
help with this thing, right?
We
No,
can question Mr. Flint.
You know for a fact that you guys you live in a magical world with stuff happens. You might not be experts, but this creature is not something you guys could handle on your own. You know that for a fact.
Chris,
Yes.
was there any form of animal that when we were checking things out everywhere in the area, was there any sort of animal in the area around the lighthouse? Yeah.
You know what? There's some bee. Like one of the bees from the apiary apparently has made it down this way.
I
It's
stay
just
away from it.
buzzing around.
Okay, I'm going to
Giant
speak with Bumble Dudes.
All right.
That's your spell? Speak with bubble dudes?
Yeah,
Sure, only bumble dudes.
and I'm going to say, "Hey there, little dude. How you doing?"
Buzzing, buddy.
Oh, I love bosom buddies. Hey,
Not the word I use.
what?
Buzzing, buddy. Not bosom, buzzing.
Oh,
know? Like a bee.
right. I see that, man. Love the stripes. Totally work. Very
Yeah.
slimming. Hey, did you see anything really weird and scary and freaky kind of come back here and then leave again?
Not recently. No.
No?
Not
Did
in
you
recent
see
times.
did you see what happened to the wizard dude? The guy who put on these freaky lights?
He went inside one time and didn't come back out, and then this big thing came out.
The big thing.
Yeah.
Was
big
it like kind of bony?
yeah. It was kind of like tall and ominous looking.
Have you seen it since then?
Nah, really.
Where did it go when it left, little dude?
Kind of like wandered around for a bit, lost and aimless, and just kind of like looked up toward the, where the hives are at, kind of in that direction. Stared all creepy like for a bit, and then just kind of shucked off into the water. After
Well, you know what? Hey, little dude, you got a name?
yeah, it's Billy.
Hey, Billy, I want to thank you from the bottom of my spores. You have been so helpful. And I just want you to know that I hope in your life you find the honey that is the sweetest and who touches your heart. And the two of you can rub stingers together and just make a life together just for your queen. So you go on, be prosperous, and just honey on.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna go buzz off now. You have.
I was going to say something like that, but I wasn't sure if it might be offensive to your little.
It's not a thing.
Not a problem, man. You
Hey, not a
sharpen
thing,
that
mushroom
stinger up.
man. Yeah,
What?
That's just for defense. We're peaceful.
Defense is good, man. No need for violence. I agree.
Yeah, nah. Just you bring the good feelings and the good honeys onto the people. You have fun now.
You have fun with all the honeys, little dude.
Oh yeah, nah. I'm just gonna make some more honeys or something.
Okay, I'll see you around, and
Go lick some flowers, or whatever the fuck I do.
you go along and lick those petals and have a grand old time, my little dude.
I'm just gonna rub myself up against some flowers now. And peace out, Cub Scout. And the bee just kind of flutters off. Was not expecting. I should have expected to be a bee at some point, right? But I didn't.
I turn to the rest of the group and say, Well, my little buddy there is part of a large matriarchal and has told us that we have to head over to the hives because that's where our skinny dude with the really sharp claws, who once was a wizard, has now kind of mosey on over.
Do we want to meet this thing?
I don't know that we want to necessarily have drinks with him and maybe plan a future, but I think maybe getting a good look at him and seeing where he's hanging out might not be a bad idea.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So you guys leave the lighthouse. You head kind of like back to town, like you veer toward town a little bit, and you realize you're passing Flint Mansion because it is right next to the apiaries.
Then why don't we stop by the mansion real quick?
All right, you stop by the mansion.
Okay, wait. Before we go in, before we knock on the door or whatever, I have an idea.
What is your idea?
And I look at Tasha. Not stabbing. We're shooting with a bow. What I was thinking, as I think I've mentioned all before, I deal with quite a bit of enchantment magic. Don't know if I could get him to redeem himself, if that is what we're trying to do here, but I do have a spell that I have a couple spells that might work on him, if that's the route we want to try and go.
Hey, you know what there, Magic Dude? I do too, and I think like we can back each other up with this and just kind of go in with the good vibes and get them to kind of see our way of seeing things, if you know what I mean.
And
We
and
also could ask him why he is upset and figure out what the source of his discomfort is and address that, perhaps.
And if that doesn't work, I will take my rope and Sil can shoot him full of spores and I will adjust his attitude manually.
I don't think that human beings can be adjusted like that.
Yes.
Oh,
Think it out, Bob. You're right.
Let's not jump
Not
to
with that
conclusions.
attitude.
You know, Tasha has a point. What this guy might need is just some kind and caressing companionship.
Sure.
Okay.
There's always that as well.
Oh, perhaps I misspoke. I'm sorry. Party on, dudes. Let's go. So, Mr. Agnew, should we go in there and try that?
Why do you keep calling me that? I'm not. But yeah,
That's not your last name?
It is not. It is not.
Oh.
I'm a little hesitant to tell any of you my last name because my family's kind of well known. Anyway,
Ooh.
it's okay. It's nothing to worry about. Anyway.
No, I'm just thinking, man. Next
Perhaps-
party, you're buying.
I don't know how that happens, but okay.
All right.
So,
Mhm.
Sil, what are you thinking? What spells are you have at your disposal that you're thinking about?
I'm thinking, look at you and I. We're just kind of happening dudes. We
Right.
go in there
I would
and
say
just share our charms with Mr. Crotchety there, and perhaps he'll see our way of seeing things. Perhaps he'll get a sparkle in his eye, a jump in his step, a little less poo in his pants, if you know what I mean.
I agree. I definitely think if you are willing to try that, that is this. I also have a spell, and I could perhaps make a suggestion to change his attitude.
Works for me.
Yes.
I think first let's go in and question him.
Yes, I agree, Bob. I agree. And Tasha, please save stabbing for the end if necessary.
Well, might I also point out, Tasha, I really appreciate your exuberance and the excitement and the total passion that you bring to your job, and which I think is so invigorating and nice to see in this day and age where people just don't care about their work product. I think that what you bring to the table is like really empowering and precious. But I'm also thinking that because this is the dude with all the pesos, that if we were to stab said dude, said pesos might find their way into somewhere else, like whoever he has planned to inherit them, as opposed to in our pockets, which then would deprive us of proper parties that would be due to celebrate after this gig was done.
I look at Bob and I'm like, does pesos mean the creature?
The gold.
I believe it is a
Oh.
term for the money.
So stab after we got the money. Gotcha. Money first, then stab.
Hopefully,
Alright.
it will not come to that.
Hmm.
Let's see if we can get in.
I mean, we'll talk to him. I'm happy to have a conversation. Just saying he needs to mind his manners.
Yes.
Whoa, I think we're fighting an
we-
uphill battle there, Dudette.
Are we able to
Yeah.
go up to the gate? Is there like
Yes.
some way to?
So
like,
the gate's not locked, so you push that open. You go up.
Keep an eye out. Keep an eye out for the creature. Make sure it's not sneaking up on us.
Creatures just
Is Mr.
standing in the
Packet
corner.
around?
You don't notice him anywhere. All right, so you knock, and nobody comes at first, but you definitely hear like the sound of someone moving in there, and maybe noises of just aggravation. Then you hear like thump, thump, and then the door opens, and it's Lord Flint. What?
Hello. We just wanted to ask another clarifying question. We believe we have found the source of your problems.
Ah, well, it's unreasonably efficient. Come in. And he just like turns and leaves you at the door as you see him making his way back into his study.
Party on, invested buddies. Flintward ho.
All right. So unless you guys have any qualms, you go in, close the door behind you, and make it into his study. You see that most of the only thing that's different is all the paperwork is now organized into stacks, and there is just like a decanter and a glass that's half full at the desk, and he's standing there like one eyebrow raised, just kind of looking at you.
We were wondering. So you said a week ago that was when you started noticing the problems, correct?
Yeah, a week, 2 at the most, something like that. Yeah.
All right.
Around the same time of the flickering of the lighthouse. And you see him just turn and look out. He's just so unorganized.
Well, you're not wrong.
So Syl speaks through people's heads. Does it work the other way around? Can Bob think of something and Syl will hear it?
I would assume so, right? Because you're talking with your minds, basically.
Right. Yeah.
We just verbalize our half because that's just how we normally do it.
Mhm. If Syl is able to hear into Bob's brain, they are telling them, like suggesting to have the pig, the warthog, do the sniffing
That's
around
brandy,
for good and
dude.
evil again.
Have some respect for life.
I apologize. That was disrespectful of me. Would you please ask Brandy to inspect the room for good and evil again?
Brandy, sweetie, sniff about and see if you find anything outwardly, tasty. Don't eat it. Just let me know. Thank you. Rock on there, little sweetie.
Do we all see the warthog start to run around?
Yeah, warthog just starts rooting around, and luckily, Flint is focused, laser focused on that lighthouse. He's just muttering to himself. So, the way with good and evil works is it detects fae, fiends, all like this kind of like different magical good and evil stuff.
Okay.
So, Paul, what you get is there's not necessarily an evil creature here, but you can tell that Flint is like lawful evil with that spell.
Gotcha.
So he is someone of order and hates chaos, but is not necessarily a good person, which I think I made obvious by this. But he's not like a demon in disguise either.
Tomato, dude.
If I might inquire, Lord Flint, what would be the most ideal scenario for you for this town? The most wondrous outcome?
Just fingers on the brow. I need whatever is happening to stop. It is upsetting the people. I don't necessarily care for them, who they are, but they work better when they're happier.
So part of the problem we found, before we tell you directly what it is, part of the problem is...
Excuse me, my little magic dude. I kind of have a feeling where you're going. Can I ask a quick question before you go there?
Sure.
Mr. Fuhrer Flint, dude, don't want to be disrespectful. Who hired the wizard out at the light tower?
That's by the... I think that's by the Maritime Ways and Means Committee. They kind of just... lighthouse keepers are like their own independent thing.
Some like faceless bureaucracy.
Yeah, yes. Exactly.
Okay.
Someone far eviler than Flint.
Whoa. That's like really deep. So you had no knowledge of that wizard dude then?
I mean, I met him once or twice. He seemed like an ass who thought more highly of himself than he actually was.
Okay. Can I ask what the two of you talked about to bring about this sort of line of thinking on your part there, sir?
The line of thinking that I thought he was an ass?
Yeah.
The man thought he was more powerful than he was. He thought he was going to become immortal and greater than frickin' like the wizards' councils and all that. I have been around.
Told you about that?
Magic user. The man was a cretin. I have been around magic users. I even know a little magic here and there. That man didn't know a cantrip from the hole in his bottom.
Well, that's kind of extreme. I mean, but I do have to ask. You know, I like to converse and have conversations with all my dudes here. How does one conversation from being hired as a lighthouse keeper go to, by the way, did I mention that I plan on being immortal and running all over the Wizards Council all over the place? That just seems like a long dialogue stretch.
As I said, I met with him a few times. And every time, his obvious arrogance and lack of intellect was more apparent.
Were these few times in the course of being hired, or was it after he was already in place?
He was already hired. I didn't hire that. If I had any control over that lighthouse, he wouldn't have been there anymore.
Well,
the man was dangerous.
You know, and I see that you're like a really important dude here, and like one of the top important dudes. I mean, you yourself have told us. So what I do have to ask then is, like, what would bring some menial little guy who doesn't know a cantrip from a cantaloupe into the great big hoo-ha here and to have a little dialogue with you?
This isn't a great big hoo-ha. This is a small town that I'm turning into a thriving enterprise.
No, I'm talking about your house, the hoo-ha house here that we're sitting in right now.
I did not meet with him here.
Oh, where did you meet with him?
Down at the Gray Main.
Oh, so the two of you were like drinking buddies.
Not at all. He came to me sucking up and trying to get extra funds for some great experiment.
Oh, I see. Did he tell you what that experiment was?
He said something about immortality and trying to overthrow the wizard. Why the hell would I want that?
Well, that is a good question. One would have to ask.
The man was a megalomaniac.
Go to someone like yourself,
because I had
who obviously really likes his money and has quite a bit of it. What would be in it for you to give him money to do this sort of outrageous thing?
Get pitched outrageous ideas.
Oh, I'm sure you do, but I didn't want to delve into your personal life, sir. I thought that might be rude.
That's why I moved to this town, to get away from the big city, so people wouldn't come with more inane ideas.
Lord Flint.
Then that's probably my cue to shut up if you don't like inane ideas. So, Mr. Wizard Bood, party on, rock on.
I'm sorry, what were you going to add, Bob, before I finish?
I was just going to ask about the mayor. How close are you with the mayor here?
Well, you know, I kind of got him elected.
You got the mayor elected?
Yeah, he's kind of a puppet.
I see.
It just tells us that.
I appreciate you being honest with that.
That tracks. That totally checks out.
What? I funded the damn thing. He ran unopposed.
Out of curiosity, Lord Flint,
Yes.
should
Sparkblood.
you wish to have your employees work faster, and to do that, they need to be happy, correct?
Correct.
Would it be better to participate in their happiness with them to ensure their happiness?
I don't know if you have noticed.
But
I don't have what you might call charming personality.
No.
People don't necessarily feel comfortable around me. It's not a thing I am good at.
so what if we told you that the that Cretaceous
D.
Cretaceous D
The wondrous.
the wonder. So what if we told you that Cretaceous accidentally activated some sort of magic that has tied the town's prosperous to your feelings on what's it called?
Wassailing.
Wassailing.
What?
So
Yeah.
We
the
believe
wizard-
you may need to participate in this wassailing season cheer in order to
We
get
can
rid
no
of this monster.
we can no longer fix it from his end either. It can
What?
only be fixed. from the other.
Why would me giving a shit about a stupid holiday?
For whatever reason, the creature that attacked the worker earlier today. So
Mhm.
you heard about that? Yeah, that
Yeah.
creature is acting on.
By the way, excellent work on getting him back into shape. He's ready to go back to work immediately.
Oh, you can thank Bob and Sylvia.
Yeah, Bob did a wondrous job. Bob deserves all your praise.
Okay.
And
well,
Syl did a wondrous job as well.
good
Oh,
job.
you're too kind.
So
I'll
apparently,
make I'll make sure the pizza party has an extra topping next time for the workers.
I
You
think it
are
was in
all
your
too
best interest to
kind, Your
participate.
Magnificence.
So you're
Um,
asking I need to participate?
the thing, the
It'll
be
creature
fun.
that is attacking people now,
Yeah.
it is bound to follow your whims, your feelings. So now
as
it
we-
is destroying the joy, the celebration.
As he puts his, he's like, what? And puts his like hands on his head. And just in the distance somewhere, you hear a creature scream. He's like, oh.
I would like to come to the conclusion that perhaps if you were to try and reminisce on your wassailing pass, what was some
Right.
joys you had from your wassailing pass that we could
Truly.
provide you from today?
You don't.
Have
The
you-
part of the
you ever-
problem I have with the whole thing, I kind of,
Weren't you ever happy?
and you just in the distance, the scream becomes a moan and a wail
oh,
of pain, and you just see Flint put his hand up against the glass. He's like, I lost so much on this day.
Do you feel comfortable sharing?
And he grabs the decanter and throws it against the wall. He's like, damn it.
Whoa, what a waste.
And he just stares murder at you. But this is a man of extreme will. And you see him close his eyes, take a deep breath, and there's another
I hand him a
reason-
handkerchief.
Yeah, so he's like cleaning the blood off his hands from the broken glass. I lost everything that mattered to a person 20 years ago. Tomorrow night, it'll be 20 years when my wife and child died. I become work obsessed. I don't know how to feel good anymore at this time of year. But if you're telling me that this beast is going after my people because of me, and you hear the door slam open behind you,
oh.
and you turn and you see a hulking beast dripping with seawater. The Bone Claw stands behind you, heaving and breathing. Lord Flint walks past you, hands his cane to Syl, and looks up at the thing and goes, "If you want my people, you're going to have to kill me first, because they are my family." And with that, the creature wails and the bones fall apart and the magic rushes out and into the night.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow.
That was very brave of you.
that was
At
amazing.
which point he takes a knee and weeps, and you just hear him saying the same two voices, the same two names over and over again. And you realize that the names he's saying, when you guys were looking over at the apiary, you saw the name of the apiary, and it was Abigail and Maleficent. And that is the two names that he's repeating to himself over and over again. You realize that he created that for his loved ones. And you guys have successfully completed the investigation.
B.O.B. is going to hug Lord Flint while he's kneeling on the ground and just kind of like safely emit like a warm feeling from their friend's heart.
I want each of you, we are now in 80s montage moment. You have dragged Lord Flint to the Gray Mare. I want each of you to describe how the rest of the night goes as it becomes wassailing, where the mead is brought out, the musicians are playing. How does the rest of the night go? Whoever wants to go first.
I go first. Okay, go Paul.
So, like, Syl is all about a party.
Yep.
So Syl is going to be going about dancing along with everybody, making sure to get around every little person, and doing circles around, Fuhrer Flint a number of times. And the entire time he's doing it, he's releasing hallucinogenic spores, just so that everyone is having a grand old time and seeing colors and all sorts of things, and just keeping the happiness going.
Yeah, there's no bad trip. So, Dan, what do you got?
So, I find some whoever looks like they need a nice pick me up, and I offer the cast suggestion on them, and give them a suggestion of their choosing to improve themselves.
Okay. You give someone a wassailing resolution, and fast forward a couple months later, this person now owns their own business.
Yes,
Lord
Flint, an entrepreneur.
Lord Flint has given them a very gracious low interest loan, and they have one of the best. What kind of shop did they open?
Taylor.
A fine new tailor for all of those people that are coming here for tourism purposes now.
They make a lot of ugly sweaters.
Oh God, it's the original ugly sweater competition.
I think B.O.B. would, when they get to the party, they would attempt to kind of like introduce Lord Flint to some of the other people in the area and help mediate conversations between them to like actually encourage each other to get to know each other, since B.O.B. is all about collecting information and getting people to talk to.
Yeah.
So engaging conversation, creating merriment.
With your assistance, Lord Flint comes in with like a case of mead and is just like handing out bottles to people. And you realize as like he in fact knows everybody by name and details and facts about all of their lives, and just you realize that this man was charming once, and you're helping him remember that. And I assume Tasha's robbing someone.
Tasha is not the social butterfly that everyone else is. She might grab a drink, stand in the corner, and kind of mutter, looking at her dagger, like, what a fucking waste. And then look around and see whose pockets she can pick.
As you do that, Lord Flint comes over to you, grabs you by the hand, and leads you out to the dance floor. And as the camera pulls away, Tasha and Lord Flint are dancing and drinking.
In a cloud of
He
spores.
is making you feel merry on this wassailing night. As
In a
we
cloud
pan
of spores.
away, and the cheer that had left Goodmead has then been found again.
Hey.
So thank you for another holiday one shot. For this
The Investor Buddies did it all in one night, dudes.
Yeah. You didn't even get to your rooms.
Nah.
No.
And you all get the required amount of money that I promised you in that letter.
Yeah.
2
With-
million
extra.
gold.
Nope. Something reasonable.
Brandy is in a corner covered in a wreath or something and just letting everyone give them scritches and give her scritches and stuff and
Brandy
just
is
licking
gnawing-
everyone who comes
Yeah,
by.
Brandy is definitely gnawing on the bones of Cranacious. I definitely kind of picked up a few of those and brought those back with as a treat.
Tail wagging.
Oh,
All the dogs in the town are so happy.
Yes. So, Paul, I hand it back to you, my friend. I have done running the game.
I'm going to give you a couple seconds to. Well, you know what? Before I go and turn it back over to you, because I have to go do that.
Oh yeah.
Just a reminder that we will be dark on Christmas Eve so that you can enjoy the light of your family and friends. We will be dark on New Year's Eve so that everyone here can enjoy the light and the libations that Syl would be happy to share with you. But we will all be back along with Butt Trumpet on New Year's Day, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I guarantee that is going to be a fun and exciting adventure that day. So please come and join us, and enjoy everything. And from all of us here at Grognard and Friends, we wish all of you and your families and your friends a happy holiday, no matter what you say.
No matter what you say. You're going to
No matter what you say.
have a happy holiday, whether you want it or not, or I'm going to find you. Rock.
Our GM has just all of a sudden channeled Tasha.
Yeah.
And the boat.
So no matter what you celebrate, we wish all the best and the happiness for all of you. And we hope that all of you have a wonderful New Year's Eve. Just ask that if you're going to be drinking, please don't be driving. But have a wonderful time. The new year proves to be something wondrous for all of you and hopefully all of us. And I'm going to turn this back over to Chris while I go and do the mechanical stuff.
Yes, this is where we have to vamp. So that everyone enjoyed themselves. I hope everybody watching enjoyed this.
Yes, I liked it. This was good.
Happy holidays, everybody. And we'll see everybody in 2024.
Yes, we'll see all of you next year.
Let's reveal the secrets of the campaigns right now.
I don't know.